Today, Sony dropped a bombshell on the gaming industry, and this is a big change for a lot of people. Physical discs are done. Sony is officially ending disc production for all new PlayStation games starting January 2028. No more PS5 discs, and of course, that means no disc for the future PlayStation 6. No collector's edition with a shiny disc inside, digital only, and this is going to upset some people, of course, in the gaming community. Today, we're going to take a look at Sony's massive announcement that physical game discs are being phased out completely. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. Sony did confirm today that starting January 2028, any new game released on PlayStation consoles will be digital only, and that does include first party, third party, and indie releases. Games released before that date are unaffected. If a game already has a disc version, they said it stays, but anything new after January 2028, no disc, no physical media, just downloads. Sony responded to this saying that the shifting consumer preference is the reason they're doing this. And I do understand it because if you look at the numbers, digital went from 13% of PlayStation sales in 2013 to around 80% in 2025. So that's the numbers they're looking at, and they're deciding, hey, we don't really sell anywhere near as many physical copies as we used to, so let's just shift everything to digital. And I think most of us have seen this coming for a long time. Digital sales have dominated. Retail stores have less inventory or have completely shut down. Publishers want lower distribution cost. Players want instant access, and collectors, they're a lot smaller group than they used to be. And it's not like it was in, let's say, 2000 or between 2000 and 2010. You don't see these big midnight releases at your local game stores, at least around where I live, as much as you used to. Most of them have completely stopped because it seemed like most players were just buying it digitally and they did not want to go stand in line and have to wait for that physical edition. So this has been something, like I said, that's been kind of happening for a while. But a lot of people already today are blaming Rockstar and GTA 6 because Rockstar did announce that GTA 6 will not ship with a disc. The physical version is literally just a box with a download code inside. And some retailers have already refused to sell it because of that. Sony kind of saw the trend, I think, and decided to go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and say, let's just announce it and go full digital everything. And as of today, of course, a lot of the analysts are already pointing out the obvious. This lines up with an expected PS6 release window. A lot of analysts have been saying that the PS6 would launch in late 2027 or at some point in 2028, whether that be early 28 or late 28. But at that point, I'm assuming the new PS6 console won't have a disk drive at all. So we're probably going to be looking at a fully digital PS6, a smaller hardware footprint, lower manufacturing cost, faster global distribution, and hopefully cheaper console variants. But I doubt that's going to be the case. You know, they always say it's cheaper to make their consoles without a disk drive. That's why they have like the digital version of the PS5, of course. So if the prices are still insanely high, and they have no disk drive, I can see a lot of people giving some pushback on wanting to buy a PlayStation in the future. This is the same playbook Microsoft used, of course, with the Series S, but Sony is going all in. And I kind of have a feeling we may see Nintendo and Microsoft do the same in the future, or unless one of them want to kind of, start making more disc versions of games, which would be odd, but to just kind of go against Sony, just to have that console war kind of go on again, where you have one that does not make physical copies and one that does. But I'm not sure if that will really be the case. The one thing here that gets a bit messy and upsetting for some players out there and some people in the gaming community is collectors. Physical collectors are already furious. That's pretty much all you see today on social media or the internet is physical collectors are going to be really upset because no disc means no preservation, no resale, no long-term ownership. Once servers goes down, those games are useless unless Sony provides a solution. GameStop, Walmart, Best Buy, they lose a huge chunk of their gaming business. Physical games do drive foot traffic. I'm assuming now if you go to Walmart or Best Buy, you'll see just one of those cardboard codes hanging on the rack. GameStop, I'm not really sure what a true game store is going to do anymore. Retail becomes accessories and gift cards pretty much. And I'm also going to be curious what they do for these collector's editions and everything that has steel books in the future. Are you just going to get a steel copy of the case with nothing inside? I think a lot of players won't care. Digital is already kind of the norm. But the people who do care, they do care a lot. And I think they're going to be loud for a really long time. This is a big concern for some people in the gaming community. Digital only ecosystems rely entirely on publishers keeping servers alive, and I think that is the one factor that could hurt all gamers, no matter if you like digital or not. Once support ends, games disappear, and that's a real problem for gaming history. Leave me a comment with your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Is this something that kind of concerns you about the future of gaming? Do you already buy everything digital, so it's not really that big of a concern? And are you concerned in the future that some games can be, of course, taken down by the publishers and then you will not be able to play that game ever again? Leave me a comment with your thoughts. And of course, if you like the video, hit the like. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.